You're 19, riding a steel cage up a pitch-black elevator shaft for $17 an hour, a headlamp your only light. 25 years later, a man in your trade holds the only maintenance contract that can legally touch that same elevator for the next 20 years, and the building has no choice but to pay him. Between those two men sits an industry where the actual asset was never the wrench. It was the paperwork nobody in the lobby ever reads. This is every level of an elevator mechanic's career in America and what it actually costs to climb. If you like breakdowns of how careers actually progress, like and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Level 1. The helper. You're 18 and you're not an apprentice yet. Just a helper. The guy who holds the flashlight and hands over tools whose names you don't know. The union won't let you touch anything electrical, so your job is carrying. You carry a 40-pound sheave up 4 flights of stairs because the freight elevator is the one you're fixing. You learn the vocabulary before you learn the trade. The hoistway is the shaft itself. The pit is the concrete floor at the very bottom, where the car never goes, and where the grease and dead rats collect. The car top is the roof of the elevator cab, the place a mechanic actually works from most of the time, standing on top of a moving box in the dark. Your first week, the journeyman rides the car top with you standing next to him, and he tells you where not to put your hands, once, and doesn't repeat it. You watch him bypass the safety circuit with a jumper wire to run the car in inspection mode. Slow, deliberate, one hand always on the stop button. You ask him what happens if you don't jumper it right. He says, you find out once, and you don't get to explain it to anyone afterward. You apply to the International Union of Elevator Constructors Apprenticeship that winter. The exam covers basic math, mechanical aptitude, and a physical. Fewer than half the applicants in your local get in. You get the call in March. Your mother cries. You don't understand why yet. Level 2, the apprentice. Your indenture runs 4 years and the union pay scale starts you around $22 an hour, with full health and pension contributions, roughly $50 an hour in total. Package once benefits are counted, according to IUEC local wage schedules. You spend 1 week a month in classroom training and the rest on a job site under a mentor mechanic. You learn hydraulic elevators first, simpler systems, a piston pushing a car up a cylinder sunk into the ground. Then traction elevators, the ones with counterweights and steel ropes, and a machine room, or no machine room at all in newer buildings, the motor tucked into the shaft itself. You learn code. ISM EA 17.1, the safety code for elevators and escalators, updated every 3 years, and every clause in it exists because something specific went wrong for somebody specific. You learn the 5-year full-load safety test, where the elevator's governor and safeties are tested by intentionally overspeeding the car and letting the safety catch engage against the guide rails. You're standing in the pit the first time your crew runs this test on a hospital elevator, and the car comes down faster than you expect before the safety grabs it. A full body jolt stop 8 feet above your head. Nobody in the pit moves for a second. Then the lead mechanic laughs, once, and tells you that's supposed to happen. You don't laugh. You finish your 4th year and sit for the mechanic exam. About 70% of apprentices in your local finish the full indenture. The rest wash out to other trades or get let go for missed hours. Level 3, the mechanic. You're licensed now, and depending on the state, that might mean an actual elevator mechanic's license, required in about a dozen states, including Illinois and Massachusetts, or it might mean nothing more than your union card, since most states have no elevator mechanic licensing requirement at all. The median pay nationally is $102,420 a year, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, though union scale in dense metro markets like New York runs closer to $60 an hour before overtime, pushing total compensation well past $150,000 with a full schedule. You carry a route now, 20 to 30 elevators across 5 or 6 buildings, and you know each one's specific personality the way a doctor knows a chart of chronic patients. The freight elevator at the loading dock on level 3, the one nobody trusts, sticks on the 3rd floor sensor every August when the heat expands the rail alignment. You know this before dispatch calls you. Then a call comes in that isn't routine. You know this before dispatch calls you. Then a call comes in that isn't routine. A car is stuck between floors in a 30-story office tower with a passenger trapped inside. No power, backup generator down too. You climb the hoistway ladder in the dark, past the car, using a hand crank to manually release the brake and move the car by hand, inch by inch, toward the nearest floor level, while a claustrophobic passenger on the other side of the door tells you through the crack that she can't breathe right. You don't rush the crank. A car released wrong can freefall on its own weight if the brake isn't reset correctly. You get her to floor level in 11 minutes. She thanks you. You don't feel like celebrating. You feel like you already knew you'd do it right because the alternative wasn't something you let yourself think about on the ladder. Level 4. The adjuster. You're 32 and you've moved off routine maintenance into adjusting, the specialist tier that fine-tunes a new elevator installation until it rides correctly, closes doors within code-mandated timing, and levels within a quarter inch of the floor. This work pays more because almost nobody can do it well. You're the person a construction general contractor calls when a $2 million elevator modernization on a 40-story building isn't passing its final inspection, and the building can't get its certificate of occupancy until it does. You spend 3 weeks alone in an empty machine room, tuning a variable frequency drive parameter by parameter, adjusting acceleration and deceleration curves so the car doesn't jerk on stop, testing, adjusting again. The inspector fails it twice on leveling tolerance before you find the encoder calibration drifting under load. You fix it. It passes. Nobody in the building will ever know your name, but the general contractor does now, and he calls you first on the next job and the one after that. Level 5. The contract holder. You're 40 and you started your own independent elevator maintenance company 4 years ago with 2 mechanics and a used service van. The real money in this trade was never the repair call. It's the full maintenance contract, a fixed monthly fee, often $300 to $600 per elevator per month, that a building signs for years at a time, guaranteeing you the exclusive right to service that equipment. You underbid a national company on a 12-building portfolio for a property management firm, and you win it, locking in roughly $40,000 a month in guaranteed recurring revenue before a single repair call comes in. You hire 2 more mechanics. You buy a second van. Then a compliance deadline hits, a state-mandated modernization requiring updated fire service recall systems on every elevator built before 2010, and every building on your contract needs the work. All at once, all urgent, all yours to schedule. You're not turning wrenches anymore, most weeks. You're a dispatcher with a P&L statement, and your biggest asset is the contract paper that says nobody else is legally allowed to touch these machines, but you. Level 6. The company. You're 51, and your company runs 40 mechanics across 200 buildings. You never see the machine rooms anymore. You see a service ticket dashboard, a recurring revenue number, and a renewal date on every contract that matters more to your business than any single repair. The national giants in this trade, Otis, Cone, Schindler, and ThyssenKrupp, control the overwhelming majority of the maintenance contract market, and one of them offers to buy your book of business. The number is 4.2 times your annual recurring contract revenue, a standard multiple for maintenance contract businesses in the trade, according to industry M&A brokers. You think about the kid on the car top holding a flashlight, the one who didn't know why his mother cried. You sign anyway. Your name stays on the trucks for 18 months per the transition agreement. Then it doesn't. Final beat. 3 frames. The first, the helper holding a flashlight in a dark shaft, believing the trade was about the machines. The second, the mechanic on the ladder, hand-cranking a brake in the dark with a stranger's life, 11 minutes away, believing skill under pressure was the whole answer. The third, the man who signed the contract, who learned the machines were never the asset. The paper was a recurring monthly fee, locked in for years,